we are live. Nah, nah. But I'm sitting here so I can bring up the stream to check the quality, among other things. And to make sure that all the levels are working properly. Arcadius is still watching trailers.
Nope, I'm good.
And Bast is doing something as well.
No, I'm here. I'm listening to the levels. I have my headset pulled back so I can hear. And
Okay.
I'm also speaking a little bit longer just so I can hear myself better.
Well, are you better?
I sound much better.
Ow.
Yes, I'll just have to turn my mic headset up.
No, you're alright, I think.
No, turn it to my ear volume so I can actually hear her.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
You're better now.
Yeah. It's still setting up, though. I don't want to kick off my tablet, either. Into the drawer with you. You made a stunning Photoshop for me.
You do that with a tablet?
Yeah, I have
the tablet.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I have a little Wacom art tablet that I use.
I knew that, but when you said tablet, I just imagined like
Computer
your
tablet.
Apple iPad, something like that.
No.
F Apple.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Well, I can't say anything.
Do I have
I'm gonna mock
Gmail
you,
on
but
here?
I'm not either.
The only Apple
have Gmail on
product
here.
that still functions in my possession is my iPod Video, and it makes skitter noises about every 8th time I turn it on.
Skitter, 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 skitter.
It is about to die. A horrible, long, scratchy hard drive destroyed, induced death.
Gamescom thread. Okay, I have the topics up.
Sweet. Let you be the guide for this train.
Oh, great. Joy.
As
Can we
conductor,
wait
it'd be the
1
most
second
appropriate
before we
term.
like start?
Yeah, sure.
Because I got a banya.
Yeah, Bunya break.
Sure. Well, y'all, it's just me, alone in this vast frozen expanse, with two friends who are not really there, but still taking up space and preventing me from going any forward. But sometimes with good English, you know how it goes. Just waiting on them. More just waiting on them. It's been a long time since I played Maya. Don't know. I'm probably gonna end up going down the Cataclysm tree. Toggle over you. Oh.
Okay, I'm back.
You are back, but Vast is not. So we will wait a little bit longer. It looks like Twitch has decided to tell me that we are streaming. Good, we're on multiple platforms at once.
Alright, I am here.
Yay! So we can get rolling.
Indeed we can.
On episode 28 of our show that we do, Gamescom just happened, you guys, and we have a list that might be small or medium or large sized, and we're going to speak about it for hopefully a little over an hour, and we'll see what happens. I'm Scorch, Arcadia Zero is here with me, and so is Vast Empires. And I
Also,
think,
mind the time if it hasn't already been done.
yeah,
Try to keep this
I
concise.
have time all over the place. Anyway, we're playing some Borderlands 2, but you know that's just going on in the background for whatever it is that we're talking about. What do we want to start with? Bee Simulator? That's nice and light.
Sure.
It's nice and light and different.
It is
Yeah,
different.
I think so. I mean,
I kind of chuckled when I heard the title, I'm not gonna lie.
I think
like,
there have
really,
been a
is this
couple
really
of
what it
ant
sounds like?
simulators recently.
And cue references to A Bug's Life.
Well, you could cue references to B movie,
About any
right?
B movie as well.
Huh?
That too.
Isn't it
I didn't
also?
really watch the B movie, so that was not the first reference that popped into my head. But yes, B being B related.
It's
Well, it's one of those.
Go ahead. I'm just turning
Oh,
down my
I was gonna say,
volume.
it's one of those things that it wasn't something that I really expected. I don't know why. Like you said, there's a bunch of different there's always been simulators, but especially with the VR, like some of those simulators have become like more prevalent or getting into my sphere of watching stuff. And this one, it caught my attention mostly because the trailer really made it sound like it was like a B movie or a Bug's Life.
It
was
looked like it
being
took
part
place
of
in
the
New York,
family.
right?
Yeah, like in a park, like Central
Yeah,
Park.
Central
the
Park.
Central Park Zoo or something.
It looks fun. I don't think I'm going to be playing it. It's not my cup of tea, but I'm sure it is somebody's cup of
Yeah.
tea. I like
Somebody will be interested in it.
guns and bullets and blood and gore and stuff.
It looks like leisure play for sure.
Yeah.
Like nothing stressful about a bee flying around.
I mean, there were a couple of wasps that looked like assholes.
Ooh.
They did mention a series of unfortunate events that will happen to you as a bee.
That's
Oh
true.
my god.
You have daily
Yeah.
tasks as a bee.
Evade the
Has.
insecticide.
Yeah, that
Collect
kind of
the
thing.
pollen.
Who
Say
Yeah.
hello to
Make
your
it-
hive mom.
Oh, hive mob.
Hive mom.
I knew that joke was coming out eventually. Oh
Sorry.
no, my list went off.
It had to be done.
Okay, so I think that's about all we're gonna talk about. Bee Simulator, right?
That one.
That's just Vast. You're about to blow up.
Oh yeah.
It's just
It's okay. She's
put it
alive.
on the list. Give us something to open up with.
Yeah.
Now let's go to the good stuff.
All right. Well, do you want to get like super heavy hitters, or do you want like?
No. We're gonna save Cyberpunk. I know that's the one that you want to talk about.
Well,
We're
that's the
saving
one
that.
that's
We're
next.
done.
You put that next in the list. That's where it went, Listmaster. Right?
For the purposes of saying it's here early, and then we're not even going to talk about it. It's here to drive Scorched nuts.
It's working. But anyway, to keep a buggish thread alive, do you want to go to Spider-Man?
Let's do it.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
I've already
let's
pre-ordered
go.
it.
Oh, god dang. Well, enough said about that then.
Well, it comes out on the 10th, so got plenty of time. Ooh.
The 10th is not that far away.
Yeah, the trailer was a conversation between Peter Parker and J. Jonah Jameson in classic J. Jonah Jameson fashion. Got her? Of
Yeah, I got it.
Spider-Man is evil and I'm a whiskey drinker kind of thing.
His exact words.
And Peter Parker was attempting to defend the actions of Spider-Man, all the while talking about the various suits and tech that Spider-Man is going to be using throughout the game, which was kind of an interesting way to go about all of that.
Yeah.
And it was
Giving
nice,
it away a
short,
little bit.
probably like 2 or 3 minutes. And
But the gameplay looks amazing as always.
it does. We were really happy to see it in
that.
E3. I think it gave 2 of the 3 of us vertigo just by its
It
existence.
was a little trippy. I'm not gonna lie. I've seen a lot of fly around video games, and that one had me like, ooh, man.
Yeah.
It was a little much, but
I'm hoping
still pretty awesome.
I'm hoping that stays in the game.
That would be a
I would
major
really
plus
like
for
that.
Sure. Did we blow up this thing? We can't use it, can we?
Not yet, but we gotta go over here
Oh.
and do this thing.
Ah.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be fun. A nice little lead in to October where Assassin's Creed is coming out. Moving on to Assassin's Creed.
The
Thoughts?
only last thing I'll say about the Spider-Mans before
Oh, yeah,
we
Spider-Mans.
move on too fast was I like watching superhero movies, but I can't seem to get engaged in superhero video games. I don't know what the deal is.
Really?
Yeah. Like, a little piece of me wanted to play the Batman Arkham, but I haven't done it yet. A little piece of me kind of thinks I might want to play the Spider-Man, but I haven't pre-ordered it yet. So, I don't know. I'll have to just kind of wait and see, but it looks good, though.
Yeah,
And if the reviews are as good as it looks, it might be playable.
yeah,
Well,
it's gonna be
playable,
fun.
but might be play-worthy. It should be the better word.
Worthy. Are you
Okay,
gonna
now we can move on.
Shoot the gate, please, so we can shut up. Arcadius. Yeah.
I did shoot. Nothing
Oh.
happened. Oh, there we go.
Okay. So, heavy hitters, Assassin's Creed. October.
So they have a lot of Assassin's Creed promo coming off because, like you said, it's coming out in October, and I'm all about it.
Oh yeah,
Like, I am a huge fan
it looks really good.
already.
I think they recently showed off Medusa and how to get to Medusa through a series of quests. That's not
I'll
just
say
Medusa's over there, go kill her. That's not how they set it
lop
up
off
to
head.
be.
You won! You've killed Medusa!
Yeah. It's not
Out
going
of all
to
the
be
Assassin's Creeds, the reason I would want to play this one is because of the Greek mythology and the
Oh,
Greek
yeah.
history. Because out of all of the history stuff, Greek mythology is probably, it's top tier up there. It's awesome.
top tier.
It's top tier history right there.
Of all the old
Badass.
folks making up stories, that's among the best.
Yes, sirree, because they can do it pretty good.
And
Pretty
then the
good.
guys made God of War, and that made me interested in everything.
No, I mean, I've always liked Greek mythology, even like all the way back as far as high school. Like, it's just pretty cool.
Yeah?
I couldn't make myself read the entirety of, God, what was that tremendously thick book for Greek mythology?
Like the Iliad?
It'll come. I think so. I think that's it. I tried to read that cover to cover, and it was kind of dry,
Ugh.
and
Yeah.
I didn't finish it, but I made an attempt.
Yeah. Oh man, I read the Divine Comedy cover to cover. That was intense. I don't think I would ever
Yeah.
tried
The Iliad.
the Iliad.
Yeah, the big thick one of all the stories. I think that one was probably the one I attempted. Because I was like, I'm gonna do this, and I got into it. And I'm like, I can't do this.
That was me.
But I
with
still
Similarly.
enjoyed what I did read. I couldn't bring myself to yeah. It was just too much at the time. Too much. But yeah, Greek mythology and just Greek history in general. And what I really appreciate, I mean, they've always tried to be pretty historically accurate.
The dog
but
opened my door.
They explained how they even hired very specific historians that studied these specific time periods in Greece history and trying their absolute best to integrate the period correct aesthetics, structures, places. Like, that attention to detail alone makes the game sound enjoyable to play.
Yeah, absolutely.
And correct me if I'm wrong that they've tried to do that with almost all the Assassin's Creeds, but I don't know if
mean-
they've all gone to this level of specificity.
Ubisoft in general really likes to be accurate to the world,
Okay.
and it's a pretty common thread throughout their games, aside from like crazy ridiculous sci-fi. Like, we're barring Beyond Good and Evil from this because that's not set anywhere we know, unless Ubisoft has like a crazy uplink to the future or something.
And don't put it past them.
Yeah, I know.
never
It's Ubisoft, you know. So
And I thought the ship battling it was kind of interesting. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
I know there's been ship battle type gameplay, but this one looked a little more cohesive than some of the other ship battling, where it's just like, "Arr, float around on the boat and have your guys shoot. Arr, your boat blew up, you lost." And you're just like, I don't understand how I could have done this any other way. You do the
Yeah.
exact same thing again, and it's like, "Arr, we're boarding your boat." And it's like, okay, well, how do I defend about this? Arr, your boat was taken over. It's like, okay, this is stupid. I'm not a fan of this anymore.
You know, one thing that they do have over, say, Skull and Bones is a boarding mechanic.
Yeah.
A functional boarding mechanic
And I know
They have
for
Vast,
functional naval battles.
Vast is,
They had me at that one.
yeah.
The So
Huh?
one of the
Yeah.
things that I really enjoyed is that they released trailers for both of the player characters, for Cassandra and Sexy Alexi.
Alexios?
Alexios, yes.
Sexy Lexi.
You really
Well, I
think
just
he's
know
sexy? He just seems
We
like
know who Vast is playing.
he
Actually,
just
wanna play
seems
Cassandra.
sweaty to me.
I'm actually
Well, weren't they
looking for
all in
Cassandra.
that time period? They
I
didn't have
know.
that magical thing
God.
called deodorant
The
yet.
past must
And they
have
only bathed
stunk to
when they
high
needed it.
heaven, huh?
Oh, well,
Probably.
Vikings were actually relatively clean.
Well, there's
Don't
not
let
much that
them-
can live in cold
Yeah,
temperatures.
anything cleaner than dirt is kind of a low bar to be set.
No, they bathed regularly.
Yeah, it's the culture and the settings and the environment. Clean is very subjective when it comes to historical periods.
Yeah.
Oh. I got you.
Oh, she's down?
I don't
Yeah,
have
I
a
got it.
shield.
Oh.
Well,
Do I have a
get
spare
one.
shield? No, I don't.
She's got to probably level up first, though.
No, she's level 5.
Oh, I'm
Oh,
just
well,
getting
shoot.
five.
We just need to get
I
you a
just gotta
shield.
get one.
Here, get yourself a good-ass gun.
Yeah, take the pickings.
Yeah. Assassin's Creed is going to be good. I'm really looking forward to it.
Mhm.
But,
I pretty tempted to get that one and play it.
yeah.
Pretty darn tempted. I'll have to wait and see.
The combos are looking pretty flashy in the way that they're doing everything. It looks like you're going
They
to be...
did look a little flamboyant. I even thought for Assassin's Creed, this looks a tad bit showy. But then again, when it comes to Greek KOs, they tended to be showy.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, you
And
got to
now-
have that Sparta kick in there.
Oh,
Sparta
yeah.
kick. The Sparta
Get that
kick.
Sparta kick.
So let me ask you guys that. Well, actually, let me ask Scorch specifically
Okay.
because you are a BioWare fan
I am.
and an accomplished person of dating simulator territory.
I am?
Do you think? Well, I mean, you played a lot of BioWare games, right?
Are you talking like
Was that dating
BioWare?
simulator?
BioWare,
Oh,
Let's
Mass
Go
Effect
Bone
stuff.
simulator.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So
Those are
do
very
you-
different.
Yeah, definitely.
This is okay. This is true. Do you think that this game is going to attract any like people who are jonesing for their Mass Effect and Dragon Age?
Well, let me ask you this, my dear co-streamer. Do people enjoy porn?
Oh, that's a good point.
I mean,
Well,
It's
folks,
not-
there you have it.
it's not a thing that you can say, oh, this will wrangle one people. Like, people like sex. That's as far as you need to go with it.
It is
Right?
a society driver.
I mean,
Mhm.
so there's a game that's just recently kind of made ripples in the cheap video gaming world that is a dungeon crawler that is also a dating sim where
Really?
your weapons that you accrue throughout the dungeon crawler are the men that you date.
Oh,
So
Oh, that's really funny for some
as
reason. I don't
as
know
to whether or not like this will, yeah, it's gonna attract people.
okay.
As to whether or not it's going to be as entertaining as, say, BioWare love storylines are concerned, I'm not sure. Ubisoft doesn't shy away from the nudity though, so we've got that to look forward to.
Or the nudity.
It's the soft, the newbie
The
soft.
nudity? Nudity is unisex, my friend. I don't know what you're talking about.
Not in video games. Let's be honest. Let's be honest.
Well, yeah, okay, that's fair. But like the kind of nudity in video games is like my kind of nudity. I like that. I'm not a big fan of swinging dong as much as like Game of Thrones or anything like that. You know what I mean? That's
just whole new levels of oh god.
Yeah. But should we should probably move on, shouldn't we? After
I'm just laughing because, we appear on Dash Radio's Mondays.
we do.
and
Happy Monday,
Monday.
This is where video games are at nowadays.
Enjoy your swinging dong on a Monday morning, your morning commute.
You're welcome for that chuckle.
Oh
You're
yeah,
welcome.
absolutely.
Got to spice up those Monday mornings somehow.
Not that way.
All right. So, is there anything else? There were a couple of other things. I'll kind of tie this into some of our other podcast topics. But I did want to mention that you can actually go and watch some of the bio docs, I guess is what they're calling them, or whatever, or developer docs, where they talk about some of the things that Arcadius mentioned, like their where they interview the different developers, talk about speaking to the different historians, getting the information just right, and the sea battle. So if you're interested in looking for that, you could check it out on either IGN, or I think they have direct links on the Assassin's Creed website right now.
Yeah.
Too.
You can find it on YouTube under Ubisoft North America's channel. That's where I get all of my stuff currently for their stuff. It's a pretty good resource. They post a lot of pretty decent things.
And pretty current too.
Except for the For Honor
It's
stuff.
not
I'm
very old.
not a fan of For Honor stuff. But,
Pass.
it's a platform for Ubisoft. They got to do Ubisoft stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, here's kind of a sleeper that I'm a little bit worried about because of the developer and their lineage. What do you guys think of Sekiro? Shadows Die Twice.
It honestly looks like an homage to Ninja Gaiden, just a little bit.
I was gonna say that.
The mechanics,
I was gonna say that.
the motions, because I haven't had me some Ninja Gaiden in years. Oh! But this, I'm not sure if this will fully slake that thirst, because Ninja Gaiden is Ninja Gaiden. Like,
Yeah.
It is so iconic in the way that it just mashes up enemies into tiny bits. To reproduce that is basically the game needs to be Ninja Gaiden. You can't just stick another name on that, because everyone will be like, this is Ninja Gaiden, because it's super obvious how a Ninja Gaiden plays. But there's a reason for it, and that's what makes it enjoyable.
Yeah.
However, there still seems like there is enough creative gameplay mechanic to make that game enjoyable. Not Ninja Gaiden enjoyable, but the threshold beneath that gives you some interesting story to look forward to. How did he get this way? And, a lot of questions to be asked about why the period is the way it is, because they're going to throw their own twist of fiction in there related to some historical sites in Japanese culture. So I think it would be pretty interesting and enjoyable to play. I don't know if there's going to be the levels of enjoyment that people might be hyping it up to be or anticipate, because, like I said, it looks like a Ninja Gaiden, but it doesn't quite function like one. Because it's like a toned back Gaiden is what it looks like.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to be able to reduce a guy to a pair of shorts like you could.
Yeah, it's
in
not
Ninja
it's not
Gaiden.
going to be that level, because again, that is reserved.
That is reserved.
Yeah, like honestly, like if someone tried to come along and make a Ninja Gaiden impersonation, do you think no one would be like, this is a Ninja Gaiden thing. Why are you doing this?
I think they'd have to get it damn close for anyone to pay it any attention.
Yeah, like basically a reskinned Ryu protagonist, and if it's anything less than that, just no, it wouldn't be.
Well, Unfortunately for Ninja Gaiden, Tecmo and Team Ninja have been absorbed into Koei, making Dynasty Warriors, and that's garbage. So,
Well,
you know,
sometimes you have to leave a good thing alone, and when you don't, you ruin it. So here's to hoping they come out with something in the future.
yeah.
Well,
Wow.
I was gonna say that it reminded you guys of Ninja Gaiden. It reminded me a little bit, and maybe it was just the stealth aspect of it. But the Tenchu series,
I don't think I ever played that. What was that like?
I don't think I did either.
that one is kind of early. Tenchu was on PlayStation and PlayStation 2, and it's like a ninja stealth
That's
game.
why I did not play them.
I see.
Oh, you guys were like Xboxing it out then, I guess.
I had a PlayStation and a
Well,
PlayStation 2. But those were the good
Only
days
my
of
neighbors
Dynasty
had
Warriors.
a PlayStation and my other neighbor had a PlayStation 2. So the first system I ever bought was a PlayStation 3. Well, yes, a PlayStation 3 followed by an Xbox 360.
Well,
That was
if
all
you ever
sale.
get the
Yep.
chance, check out some of the gameplay of it and then come back to me and tell me if it feels familiar to you. But what I liked about the gameplay trailer that they showed is that it had that like single combat, Bloodborne, Dark Souls aspect to it,
Mm-hmm.
but it seemed like it was a little faster paced because of the mobility that you had with your grappling hook. And so that actually appeals to me.
I will say that grappling hook did get you around really fast.
Got you really
fast.
And it feels like you can have it feels like they could have some really cool combos with that, like dragging your enemy closer or swinging yourself and then up and then dropping down. So that interested me. I
Yeah.
thought it was cool.
Definitely.
I'll
Now-
buy that.
Going back to something that was mentioned just a moment ago, this is a From Software title. From Bloodborne and Dark Souls series. And if you take a look at the gameplay, your health is tiny. And if anybody hits you, that's at least half your health off.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're into that kind of thing, if you're into snapping controllers in half and being angry for days about stupid mechanics and have played Dark Souls before, this is your thing. Go for it.
I've never played Dark Souls before, so that's also worrisome for me. I
Yeah.
don't want my life ruined. I just want to enjoy a video game.
Good
One
luck
thing-
playing, my friend.
One thing I will say about it is that they took away the stamina meter. It seems like you have unlimited stamina to jump around and dodge to your heart's
That
desire.
was to give people a ray of hope.
Yeah, something like that.
That was their single move. Like, all right, we don't really want to change it, but we'll just let people just keep swinging.
Yeah.
You know, for the button mashers that can't quite get it down, we'll just let them keep swinging, you know, at no cost.
Yeah, I'm fine with that because it's
Yeah.
gonna be me for a little bit, definitely.
I can't do the thing. Button mash.
Me for all time.
You know what it also reminded me of? That game is the next thing on our list, Devil May Cry 5.
Oh yeah.
It's very similar, very, very similar to Devil May Cry 5, in my opinion at least. Now, Devil May Cry seems to be a lot more over the top and has been in the past.
Always, and that's what makes it
Always.
so cool.
Yeah. What? Why didn't I go there?
Yes.
The game looks fun. I've only ever played Devil May Cry 3, so I can't really speak to the
I can't speak to any of them.
series
I haven't played
itself. But you know, they're
Something
fun.
something seemed always kind of weird about the Devil May Cries. I don't know what it is really. Also
I've only
vast, I can't
played,
get you.
No, you're fine. I've only played I think 2 and 3, and I am terrible at those games. Terrible. Comparatively. It's why I never even tried to play Bayonetta. And I was like, I'm never gonna be able to play this game.
People really
That
like
one looked easier
Bayonetta.
than Devil May Cry.
I know. Well, they're you know, they have really similar gameplay elements to them, and you know, I think the studios admire each other
God
kind
damn
of
it.
thing. They're like cousins.
Cousins.
However,
Cousin Studios.
Can somebody get me up right quick?
Hold on,
I'm
where you
trying to
at?
come in.
I cannot find you. You're over here.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh!
Oh, damn it.
Oh! Okay,
damn
don't
it.
worry about it. Don't worry about it.
I can't do the thing.
The boss jumped on me, you guys, for those of you that are not
Yeah.
watching the stream. The boss jumped on me. But Devil May Cry. Interesting.
Yeah. So. And so,
Oh.
but this one, it seems like every iteration since 3, in my opinion, has been better,
Yeah.
more accessible, and the thing that I like the most about Devil May Cry is that it always seems to have like a really awesome mythos and world, and you've never really got a lot of that in the initial games because it's newer, older console. You can only do so much with the space and the time and all that kind of stuff. And with the more recent ones like DMC and now this one, it looks like they really took a step forward and like made the world part of the game.
Yeah.
And I really like that. And it's and like you said, it's really stylish. So that style comes out in spades. I can't wait to see the ridiculous things that you can do, like riding on your devil arm and
What, like a
like
skateboard?
yes, like in doing an ollie on your devil arm or whatever it is that you do.
Hey, you got him. Yeah, I'll get you up fast. The one thing I don't like about what they've done is they put a side character in most of their promotional material that has a way over-exaggerated southern accent.
She's worse than Cindy. She's worse
Yeah,
than
it's
Cindy.
straight up like
It's-
Cindy from Final 15.
It's real bad, and I mean, it's
I
cool.
guess that's how they
that-
see the Hicks.
It's cool that you're
We in
representing.
the South just have the thickest draws you ever heard of. You know?
Well, I did go to high school with people with that drawl, but
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying that's
I mean,
they
it
think all
exists.
Southern people.
But all three of us are like raised in the South. At least 2 of us were born in the South.
Oh,
And this
I
is how
got
we
family
speak.
that's that for sure.
Yeah.
100% that.
Danny's here from Japan. Hey, Danny.
hey, Danny,
Shout out.
welcome.
All the
We're
way
talking
from
about
the other side of the
Gamescom.
globe.
Yeah. We just finished Devil May Cry, and we're moving on to the next game, whatever it's going to be. What do you want the next game to be, guys? Wah.
Is it
We
time?
got Overwatch, we got Biomutant, we can talk about Anthem and Metro, we can talk about
Let's
new
hit the,
graphics cards.
Yes, it's true.
And
Let's hit the Overwatch thing real quick, since we had apparently
Cyberpunk.
some opinions to be had about that.
Overwatch? Okay.
Yeah.
So where do y'all want to
Do it.
begin?
Well, there's some big releases during Gamescom for Overwatch. They had a presence at Gamescom, Blizzard always does, but at the same time, they had the major developers for the game, including Jeff Kaplan, who's like the head creative director of Overwatch. They had a creative team go to Busan, South Korea, for an event.
Cool.
And that's that's one of the reasons why people were speculating that, yes, of course, the new map was going to be, something for South Korea, and that the character trailer was obviously going to be Diva, because they're going to represent her hometown,
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, they need to capture that South Korean market that is very heavily into player battlegrounds. Player unknown,
Big
unknown
time.
player,
PUBG.
whatever it is.
PUBG.
Yep.
PUBG, thank you.
Player unknown battleground.
So that's the setup. What are your thoughts?
One, I don't play Overwatch, so I can't talk to Overwatch.
Spoiler alert.
2,
Yeah, no, but this is just about the cinematic trailer and the.
their cinematic
Just the
trailer
enjoyment.
was really cool. I liked it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It was colorful. It told a nice compact story in 8 minutes, It had lines from the video game in the trailer. You
Yep.
got a feel for how these characters were. There was actual character development in 8 minutes, which was cool.
Or at least a general attitude of how the character normally held themselves.
Yeah. That sent me down the rabbit hole of watching lots and lots of Overwatch character shorts.
Like all the characters.
And so I
Aren't they-
watched
Aren't they good?
Hanzo. I watched Hanzo and Genji. I watched
Oh, I love that.
Bastion. I
Oh, that song
Yeah.
breaks your heart.
I thought Bastions was pretty.
I watched
Bastions
Reinhardt,
was good, and Reinhardt's I
Reinhardt's
liked.
good. Did you
and
watch Maze?
I saw Maze
Maze,
earlier.
Okay.
I cursed the fact that the game that I seem to loathe so hardcore had a very good animation and story team behind it.
Well,
Well,
their gameplay animators are also their other animators, right?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
But
Spend like 50% of their time getting those movies just spick and span, and then the rest of the time they spend actually making a video game.
Mhm. But so I will say that I don't consider myself a diva main anymore, if only because I don't play her as much. Just
I do. She's fun to play.
I love her to death. She's honestly my favorite character in the game, next to Zenyatta, who's the best healer in the game.
Played him
However,
too.
however, as much as I enjoyed the cinematic short for Diva, I was a little disappointed by it, and here's why.
you were? Why?
Yeah, well, we are now on year 3 of this video game,
Uh-huh.
and everything that they showed us in that cinematic short is stuff that we already knew about the character. Like it revealed stuff about her as far as like she has a team around her, which you maybe if you paid attention to like some of the levels that you're in, you could see that there were other characters in mech suits that you could maybe say maybe they know Diva. So like they connected some of those things, but everything that they told you about Diva is all pre the game starting. So as of right now, we haven't learned anything about the characters since before the game starts.
Honestly, I think that viewpoint comes from the fact of people who have played the game for as much as like maybe someone as yourself had, which is pretty adamantly, pretty tournament based, I would say. And I think the intended videos are all actually supposed to be that way. That they're trying to keep them all at the same sort of lore level of being purely introductory for each character and not really actually supposed to go into an extensive story like we would like, because the Overwatch fan base is known to, go ape and develop its own lore chain and all kinds of stuff because Blizzard's not really in the business of making these long, elaborate lore chains for their characters. They just needed some short, succinct things to define the characters, and that's kind of what lends itself to the fan base loving the characters so much because they're open-ended to develop their own hypotheses and stories.
Yeah.
And I totally understand that, but it's been 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
We're on year 3. Like, there's no... like, I get that they have a timetable and they're going to do, like, one of these a year, but that means, like, by year 8 in Overwatch 7, you're still going to be getting... you're still going to be getting introductory stuff. And I think part of the frustration is because I am a story person.
Yes.
And that they've almost all but stopped like their ancillary activities. Like we haven't had a comic in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't had a... Actually, I was going to say, I think with Junkrat and Roadhog, they had like a cinematic quest when they... or not a cinematic quest, they had like a little minor in-game cinematic where when they introduced their character-specific map of Junkertown. But, and I think the other half of that is, I get how amazing it is to let your fandoms drive your PR and marketing, because it's basically free. It's free promotion. It's free PR.
Yeah.
And they'll just handle everything for you. But does that actually enhance the quality of the product that you're providing? Like, they could have given us a story for Diva or any of the upcoming characters that just don't take place in the beginning. It could just take place now. And it wouldn't change anything in terms of work. In terms of work, it wouldn't change anything. Unless they don't have a story anymore.
Wow.
Which is perfectly perfectly understandable if they don't, since they kind of mishmash the whole game together. But
yeah, I can definitely see where you're coming from. I
But like
definitely
I said,
can.
I loved it. I was just disappointed.
Mildly
What I
disappointed.
what I think though is that all of the promotional material that they actually do is for trying to get more people to play their game. It's like an introductory thing to these characters. And like that's all marketing is, really. Buy our product,
Yeah.
And with such an avid fan base that Overwatch has, they can develop the stronger, heavier lore with the character, or not the characters, but like their community themselves, and that can be its own contained little thing. And they can also have this for other people that are thinking about it. They can have their cake and eat it too. It's not necessarily going to be the best cake for everyone. Not everybody likes chocolate cake. But,
For the uncultured.
the uncultured.
Just kidding. Vanilla cake's alright too.
You gotta have variety.
Yeah.
Can I insult chocolate lovers real quick?
No.
It's not that I dislike chocolate or chocolate lovers, but it seems like chocolate lovers never know how to hold back. It's always chocolate ganache on top of chocolate with a chocolate strawberry and chocolate
Too
gold
much
meat.
chocolate over the top.
Well,
Yes.
Vast, I heard strawberry in there, so your point is moot.
But you covered the strawberry in chocolate.
And it was delicious.
Like, how much chocolate does one thing need?
A lot.
Just asking the question. Just asking the hard-hitting
I
questions.
mean, that's why they have chocolate fountains. Just saying.
Those are so gross. No one get those, okay? Think of like all the bugs and bacteria and like dust and hair that float through the sky and would
now
get
you've
stuck
ruined
in a chocolate fountain.
for everybody.
Don't.
Everyone had this wonderful image of a tasty chocolate fountain, and
Don't.
you ruined it.
Do not
Ruined
get
it.
a chocolate fountain, all right? Please. Please. Oh my god, that's gross.
Oh man.
So, Vest, kind of interestingly, if you would like to have a supplementary food podcast and talk about things like this, I would be all over it. But this
Making
is
it so.
our
Deviating a little bit.
video game podcast. Oops, I
And
accidentally jumped
general
out.
news of such.
Yeah.
Tech news and video games.
I think the last thing I'll say about Overwatch is that they had their All-Star weekend, and they're really pumping their, and as they should, they're really pumping their OWL League, or pumping up events for their OWL League since it's about to go into off
Another
season.
season? Yeah.
Yeah, it's off season, and I actually don't know when the second one starts, but that was another thing that was going on this weekend too. So Blizzard was really busy, not just with Overwatch, but with other things too. Like they mentioned, I think we mentioned this last podcast actually, that they're bringing Diablo 3 to the Switch.
Yeah.
They got money to be made. They gotta go
got
on to
some
other
money.
things.
They gotta Skyrim the shit out of Diablo right quick.
And in their words, they'll stop making it if we just quit buying it.
Please stop buying that game. No, but
Let it die peacefully and
Yeah,
gracefully.
Stop
like it
resuscitating
deserves.
it.
so they can hurry up and
It's like
put out
the game
next
gets
one.
over and someone just goes, Claire!
Yeah.
And up it goes again.
Oh, I'm alive again. I'm a Dovahkiin. Oh.
Just when you thought the game was over again, someone out of the blue. It's
there are
like,
two more-
okay, I'm going to compare it. It's like in Halo when you're trying to start a match and that one guy pressed X and delayed everything.
Oh my god.
It's like
yes.
that happening in loop over and over again.
So to go on a quick tangent. I found a video, a rather recent video. I think it's like 3 or 4 days old, of Achievement Hunter playing Halo 3 Lasso on the first mission. And I sent it to Vast because we mention Lasso every once in a while, just so that she knew what we were talking about. And they had a death counter for each person, that dies. And they had to, okay, so this was only one part of a video. They had to split the video into 4 parts because it was so long.
Oh my god.
At the end of the first video, they were upwards of 60 deaths. So that's...
They didn't play even some of the harder levels. The
Yeah.
first one's not even the harder of the lassos. I think it's like normally the ones that are right before the end are the ones that are just insane. I know in Reach that's the way it was. Those last couple of missions in Reach were just stupid difficult. No vehicles to help you. It's only you and a little bit of ammo. And
you have to protect Emil in the cannon as he's shooting down cruisers.
Oh my god.
That one.
The
Oh
part
my
where you
god.
have to get through all the elites, and you have like 8 shots. Oh my goodness, it's painful. That was painful.
It was.
That was that lasso mission, if I remember correctly, took us both 7 hours.
I mean, on the lasso playlist, yeah, we spent all day
on lasso. That mission on lasso, just that mission.
Yeah. I mean, we
Took 7
probably weren't doing it right, but you know,
we only tried like 1,800 different ways to do that mission because we played it like the beginning parts were basically muscle memory by the time we were trying to get to the last part of it.
Yeah. Oh, go to Vast.
Vast just got axed.
All right, go to Vast.
I need to get a shield.
I think we should start talking about Gamescom. How about it?
Yes, I do want to add 2 more things for Blizzard because just because it comes to mind. They also released something like a new expansion for WoW, right?
Battle for Azeroth. Yes, it came out on the 14th of August.
So, and then they also did a couple of things for Heroes of the Storm. They reworked one of the maps, and they had an event for HOTS as well. So Blizzard was pretty busy, and they were representing pre and during Gamescom.
Yeah.
Next topic.
Well, let's see.